I receive the question fairly frequently about Obamacare. And what's my opinion on Obamacare? Do I think Obamacare is going to hurt the industry? Do I think it's going to hurt business? And so I'm going to give you my opinion. It's a controversial one, but I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to tell you how you should think about this. So the question usually comes in two forms. One, I'm thinking about getting into the business, but I'm afraid to start. I'm looking at Obamacare and what it might do to my business, or I'm in the business and I'm thinking maybe it's time to sell. There's so much government regulation. I don't like the way things are going. Obamacare scares me. And so I get this question in several different ways. So first, my opinion, probably a watered down opinion. And then second, what I think, or better said, how I think you need to be thinking about this. So my opinion is that I'm disappointed with Obamacare. That's the nicest way I can say it. The biggest reason why I'm disappointed with Obamacare is because I don't think it's legislated fairly. I could go into other reasons, but let me just pick on this one. So I'm going to give you my opinion, but there's something you need to stick with this video to hear. The reason I'm disappointed with the way it's legislated, forget whether or not I think it should have ever been enacted. The reason I'm disappointed is because in my opinion, it's very unfair. What's happened is that many very large corporations have been given waivers to basically opt out of it in some form. Or there's been so much government lobbying that so many people that are needed to support the system now don't have to participate in it, and they did that so they could get it passed. But let's think about it on a smaller level for us. So Obamacare only kicks in with 50 plus employees. And there's some penalties involved, and I can't remember all the details exactly, but there's something around 35 employees. My point is that even if you're over 50 employees, from the best of my recollection, that you don't really pay the penalty on all 50 employees if you don't pay for it and you have over 50 employees, meaning you don't pay for health insurance. You're paying it on some number of those 50 employees and then those over. That's not what we're here to talk about. But my point is that why is it that if you grow a business and you do everything it takes to get to that point and you sacrifice and invest and take all the risk, when you get to 50 employees, you're treated differently than everybody else? To me, that is extremely unfair. And it does, I do believe, keep some guys from wanting to cross over 50, but not quite at the level that so many blogs and articles and radio guys say. For example, if I'm at 40 employees, it's not stopping me from going to 70. There's no way. I'm not going to look at it and say, oh, I'm stopping my business. I'm done growing. This is good enough. I'm not going to do that. Generally, I think the entrepreneurial spirit, the reason you got out of bed and started a company and took all the risk is you're in this for more than money. You're in this for the challenge. You're in this because you're going to do something great. You're in this for so many other reasons. You don't just hit the magical wall and say, I'm done. This is good enough. I don't believe that. So I think it's a little overblown in that companies will just magically stop at 50 employees. Now, we're not dumb. Companies are going to consider this. So I hope I'm not stating this incorrectly to construe that I think this is no big deal, because I think it is a big deal. I think it's really bad that companies that are over 50 employees are penalized. I think the law would work far better if it was uniform. If you have 1,000 employees, 50 employees, 2 employees, we all work under the same guidelines. Then we're playing in the same ballpark. When I hit 50 employees, I don't suddenly have a tremendous amount of cost that my competitors at 40 don't have. That seems very wrong. And that's the most troubling part about it. There's other things that trouble me about it, but that's my take on it. I'm not against helping other people. I'm not against charity. I'm not against any of that stuff. I just have different opinions on how it should be done. So I realize that I may be turning you off with my opinion here. So let me talk about what the bigger issue is. Whether you think it's right or wrong, it will, without question, add a layer of cost to your company. Whether you agree or disagree with the law, it will add cost to your company. But I think there's a bigger mindset here. The deal is you're going to be hit as a business owner with all kinds of stuff. Obamacare is just one of many things. If you had been around in business 20 years ago, lots of stuff has changed. If you are going to be around in business 20 years from now, lots of things are going to change. You're going to get hit with this and that. I can't predict it. My job as a business owner is to solve problems. My job as a business owner is to react. My job as a business owner is to figure out how to make my business work regardless of taxes, regardless of legislation, regardless of economic events, regardless of employment. That's my job. If I'm not willing to do that, then I shouldn't be a business owner. If I'm willing to do that, I'm going to make money. And one other thing to think about here, or many things to think about, is if a whole bunch of your competitors are going to run around with the same attitude and say, whoa, new legislation, whoa, new taxes, new Obamacare stuff, and we could all disagree with it, but if they're going to take the attitude and they're going to say, I'm out, I'm done, not going to do it, not going to play the game, not going to enter the market, good news for you. There's less people, less price pressure. If you're willing to play the game and you're willing to figure it out and go through the pain and solve the problem, be creative about it, then you will get the rewards. And the more of your competitors that bail out of the market, all the better for you. And so I would also ask you, if you're a new business owner or thinking about starting and this is going to keep you from doing it, would you rather go work for somebody else that also has to comply with Obamacare? So for example, if you think Obamacare is going to destroy your company, then are you going to go work for somebody else's company that it's going to also destroy? Because now you have zero control. At least if you're going to go work, if all companies are going to be destroyed by Obamacare, you might as well at least be in control and run your own. And I'm being dramatic, but the logic is, I'm going to shut down my business because Obamacare is going to end the world, and I'm going to go get another job. Well, then what's different about their company versus your company? It makes no sense to me. Your job, your charge, your responsibility as a business owner is to fix it, figure it out. What are we as business owners? We are guys that put out fires and solve problems and create processes to get around future potential problems. We are problem solvers. You know, if you want to be a high-paid employee and you don't want the responsibility of building a business, or you want to be a really high-paid salesperson, what's your job? At the end of the day, your job is to solve problems. The guys that solve problems make all the money. Nobody promotes the guy to make $300,000 a year doing the easy job. They promote the guy that makes $300,000 a year that can solve big problems, that every day deals with big problems. That's your job. So, your job, as I've said 3 times, put out fires, solve problems, figure it out. Obamacare is not going to hurt you. It's not going to end you. It may reduce profits, but people are going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's another challenge. Yes, it's one more thing, but we're going to figure it out, and we're going to get past it, and we're going to make a bunch of money as business owners. Last thing I'll say. One of my favorite, I wasn't around making money in the 70s. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't know the 70s. And I think it was the 70s that tax rates were super high. Like the highest tax rate was 80% or something insane. You know, what's our highest tax bracket today? It's not 80%. I'm not paying anywhere near 80% in taxes, federal income taxes. So I remember listening years ago to a guy named Jim Rohn, who I really like. If you've never heard of Jim Rohn, he's like a Tony Robbins, a Zig Ziglar kind of guy. He was one of the early guys. He's somebody I resonate with. And I remember listening to one of his tapes, and he's talking about the fact that you've basically got to have a plan. You've got to have, he uses a great word for it, but it's kind of like a roadmap for your life, for your business. And he talks about all the excuses that people make. I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of this or that. And he talks about how much and how high taxes were in the 70s as compared to probably in the 80s or 90s when he recorded this tape. And taxes had gone way down. And my takeaway is we're going to have problems. I mean, our tax rate's so much lower than it used to be a long time ago. But yeah, it's higher than when Bush was a president, but it's so much lower than when Jimmy Carter was a president. And we've all survived. We've all thrived. We've all made a lot of money because what are we? We're entrepreneurs. We figure it out. So if you're not going to go into business because of that, huge mistake. You should do it. If you're going to close your business and sell it because of Obamacare, doesn't make any sense to me. Figure it out. If you're going to stop growing because of it, I don't get it. Because if you're not growing, your business is going backwards and you're shrinking and you're not becoming better. You're not going to make more money. You're going to slowly fade away and disappear. So consider it one more challenge in life, figure it out, and you will do fine. Good luck.